ومثل الطيب إلا الرسول ياسين ومثل الطيب الطيب الطيبين ومثل الطيب وليرحم المسكين ومثل الطيب أبيه دوام هزين مع النبي الدارين بعلم عامين الوالي كامل الطيب السمان ومثل الطيب الطيب عظيم الشان ومثل الطيب والظاهر في الأقوال ومثل الطيب ولهمنا السودان ومثل الطيب ألازق للقرآن في حضرة الديوان بعلم عامل الوالي كامل الخالص الإبليس ومثل الطيب والنسب صافي عزيز ومثل الطيب القول حال اللذيذ ومثل الطيب اليئس بقوم أزيز ومثل الطيب الضرع ما يريد ومثل الطيب والحب فينا
أحمد الطيب البشير 1742-1824. As part of the documentary aimed at Sudanese Sufism, I would like to extend sincere greetings to all of you, dear viewers. It is my great joy to continue displaying the important Sufis in Sudan. Today's focus will be on introducing the Sammaniya's founder, Sheikh Ahmad al-Bashir, as we have covered the speech on the Tariqa's inception in the Sudanese context in our previous episode. Let us get started. Sheikh Ahmad al-Bashir is a prominent figure in the history of Islamic mysticism in Sudan and is regarded as one of the most important reformers among the Muslim Senates of the country. He wrote many books on Sufi philosophy, prayers upon the Prophet ﷺ, and Islam and Islamic teachings. Such authorings are significant advancements in Sudanese Islamic intellectual history, making him a prolific writer. His biography informs that he is Ahmad al-Tayyib ibn Mawlay al-Bashir ibn Malik ibn al-Ustaz Muhammad Surur, the Abbasi, the Sammani in his Tariqa and Maliki in Masar. He was born at Marrih, north of Durman, in 1742. His mother was Ruqayya bint Rahama ibn Muhammad wal-Sarur. Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib belongs to the family of Sheikh Muhammad wal-Sarur, who was one of the special and distinctive students of Sheikh Hassan al-Husuna, as described by Abdul Majid Abdin. This family is an ancient religious family that left behind numerous religious, scientific, and literary landmarks over the years, and had a significant role in promoting spiritual values and Islamic culture in Sudan. Along with it, a number of scholars and poets have emerged. In one of his well-known poems, Ustaz Muhammad Sharif Nuruddin, grandson of Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, demonstrated how this Tayyibian dynasty have timely and spiritual inheritance. Listen to him when he said, ولي 10 أجداد على العلم والتقى ومن فوقهم كانوا على الملك والقهر. So says Muhammad Sharif in the above two lines, praising the family, pointing to its distinguished status among the Sudanese communities at that time, and at the same time pointing to the idea that among the family members, mainly his grandfathers were the kings and sultans. The intellectual formation of Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib. Growing up under his father's care, Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib first started the study of the religious teaching, mainly the Holy Quran, in the ancient mosque of his grandfather, Sheikh Muhammad wal Saruri in Umarah. In an interview with the Khalifa, with the current center Khalifa, the Rahim Muhammad Saleh, the center, the center of Umarah, the Khalifa stated that the mosque has more than 40 years since its establishment. He tries to say that the mosque that already that in which Sheikh Ahmad Tayyib has received his earliest education, in fact, was an ancient mosque back to more than 400 years. A point indicates that the family oriented love of science and knowledge is so very ancient in that sense. However, Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, by the way, started, as I have stated here, that started his religious education, mainly the memorization of the Quran at his grandfather mosque. He then went to the mosque of the Faqih, Walad Anas al-Wadabi, on Island Island, where he stayed for a few days before moving to the mosque of Faqih Ahmad al-Fazari al-Faradi in Talha in central Sudan. At the age of 13, Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib Bashir came to the complete memorization of the Holy Quran in a very shortest amount of time. And his memorization of the Holy Quran was on the narration of Abu Hafs Umar al-Turi narration. Once he had finished memorizing the Quran, he went back to Umarah, where his grandfather Sheikh Muhammad was Sarur had a mosque. He went there to follow the scholars' lessons and read with them Al-Ashmawiya and Mazziya. Then he further read bin Ibn Ashir's Manzuma or Aud, along with some of its commentaries and comments of Al-Azziya and its footnotes, including the footnote of As-Sifti. This was followed by his reading to Abu Zayd al-Qirawani epistles, some of its commentaries, including those of Abu al-Hasan and Agrab al-Masalik, the nearest of authors, and its commentary, both of which, as we have know, are for Imam al-Dirdiri. My master Sheikh Ahmad Tayyib would spend the night in remembrance, sometimes reciting the Quran and reflecting on its meanings, and other times sending the blessing on the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessing be upon him. He would offer prayers. He would offer prayers upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam 12,000 times a day. For more information, I referring you to عبد المحمود نور الداعي مظاهر الرياض في مناقب العارف بالله الشيخ أحمد الطيب البشير. In the search of the Sufi guide. Following his memorization of the Quran and his study to Islamic sciences, Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib then entered into the stage of searching for the Sufi guide. As a result, he longed for a murshid guide, just like a thirsty person longs for cold water, and a murid longs for the opening and outpouring. He selected from among the people of guidance, who in his time were the son of their perfection in his country, the perfect Gnostic, my master, Sheikh al-Baqi wa Ali al-Kahli, better known as al-Niyal, the student of the Noah of Allah, Sheikh Abdullah wa al-Ajuz. May Allah be pleased with them. However, Ahmad al-Tayyib went to the Qutb al-Niyal at his own Qadri center at Gargur, and on entering to him, the latter addressed him said, "Welcome, young son and great Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir." Sheikh al-Niyal's heart tended to take him as a student, and he wished the education and guidance be under him, but he stopped the rituals of initiating him, saying, "Like you, for initiation, we are need to have the permission." And Nair is reported to have communicated with the spirit of Hassan ud Husuna, who commanded him not to initiate Ahmad. However, Sheikh Nail asked Ahmad al-Tayyib and said, "Do you have a relationship with Sheikh Hassan ud Husuna?" He said, "Yes, he is my grandfather." On hearing that, Nail told Ahmad and added, "He, with Husuna, forbidden us to teach you the Sufi path." Al-Tayyib's statement to Nail that what Husuna is his grandfather, or his statement that he is my grandfather, infer to the spiritual lineage that bestows success and joy. So, as a matter of fact, Sheikh Ahmad Tayyib, when he responded to the question of Sheikh Al-Niyal by saying that Sheikh Hassan al-Husuna is my grandfather, in fact, indicating and referring to the spiritual lineage that connected him with Sheikh Hassan al-Husuna. That is because the grandfather of Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, I mean here, Sheikh Muhammad Wal Sarur, was a sincere and distinguished students of Sheikh Hassan al-Husuna, as we have stated previously. And by the way, the family, mainly the family of Sheikh Muhammad Wal Sarur, has found the greatest care and concern from the Gnostic, my master Sheikh Hassan al-Husuna. And because of that, the status of Sheikh Hassan al-Husuna among the Sammanis has very great status till the present day. In that particular setting and session, Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib questioned Sheikh Abdul Baqi al-Nayr on matters like whether worship is better to be conducted in secret or in secret of secrets. Additionally, he inquired him about how one reaches God in addition to some other things. On Ahmad al-Tayyib's departure from the Sheikh, Sheikh Abdul Baqi al-Nayr told his murids that Ahmad al-Tayyib would get his initiation in Hijaz, more specifically Medina. The incident of the encounter between Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir and Sheikh Abdul Baqi al-Nayl, and the question that has been pointed by Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib mainly on the way of worshipping God. This incident could be explained within the context of the development of Sufi orders in the Sudan. So for him, there was a necessity for Sheikh al-Tayyib, for Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, there was a necessity for a new revivalist spirit, which was not found in Sinar. For this reason, and when he did not manage to fit into the Torah at that time, he returned to his village, Marih, where he continued to perform salat, prayer and blessing upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as has been stated by Sheikh Abdul Mahmoud Nur al-Daimi in Zahir al-Riyad, that Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib used to perform 12,000 times a day, 12,000 times blessing upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam until he saw the Prophet in full consciousness. And according to Dr. Amani Muhammad al-Ibaid in her study, the Sammaniya Doctrine and Politics, pointing to this special and particular area, I mean here, the concern and care of Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib after backing from Gargur, that he went in continued way of sending blessing upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Here, the author or the researcher said, here Ahmad al-Tayyib developed a new trend in the Sufi orders in the Sudan in the late period of the French Sultanate, that is performing salat on the Prophet as a means of acquiring Sufi status and kramat. This was the period before he went to Hijaz. It is significant to mention that at that time, before his travel to Hijaz, Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir was famous for being alim scholar, due to the fact that he studied Sharia sciences and teachings, as we have stated earlier.
سماني البيه وطيبنا بنادي طيبنا سماني البيه وطيبنا يا بنادي لي طيبنا وسماني البيه وطيبنا يا بنادي لي طيبنا سماني البيه وطيبنا سماني لهم عاجبنا زادنا ورفع حاجبنا
The journey for Hijaz. When my master Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib read 16 by 1 or 2 years, and that is in the 1758 or 1760, he went to perform the Hajj. While performing his Hajj, he reached out to scholars of Sharia and Haqiqa, including the Hadith scholar Sheikh Muhammad ibn Aqila, Sheikh Ibrahim ibn Muhammad ibn Abd al-Salam al-Zamzami, in addition to Sheikh Abdurrahman al-Aidarus. And this is, by the way, before he traveling to Medina. So those notable scholars were not only Sharia scholars, but also they were Sufis, and they were students of the Naqshbandi and the Khalwatiya Sufi orders. While in Mecca, before leaving to Medina, he had been given his notable prayers. He has been given the notable prayer, Sirrul Asrar, the secret of secret, Sirrul Asrar fi Fadl Salah ala Nabi al-Mukhtar. So the privilege of reading this special prayer has been pointed out in the introduction that has been written by Sheikh Abdul Mahmoud Sheikh Nur al-Daim. And for good news that I have translated this important and significant prayer into English, and I will back to it in a separate episode to be presented to the audience. In al-Madinah al-Munawwara, Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib was reported to have had a vision in Mecca that Muhammad ibn Abd al-Karim al-Samman in Medina was his true master. As he approached Medina, my master Sheikh Muhammad al-Samman became more inquisitive about him. He took this action to demonstrate his concern and care for him, to recognize his high rank, and to inform everyone around him that Ahmad al-Tayyib is among Allah's nobles. For more information, I referring you to الكوس المترعة في مناقب السادة الأربعة by الشيخ عبد المحمود الشيخ نور الدائم. On entering Medina, my master Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir make his visitation to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then directly he went to As-Samman in his Bakriya Siddiqiyya Zawiya. And Bakriya Siddiqiyya Zawiya, by the way, it is the house of our master Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, since As-Samman is grandson to the Khalifa Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So his Zawiya, as I have stated and as I have presented in the story life and biography of As-Samman, the Zawiya later came to be known as Zawiya Sammaniya, which originally, as I have stated, is the house of our master Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, on his arrival to Medina after the visitation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went to Bakriya Siddiqiyya Zawiya, and there he found As-Samman as if he is the full moon in its perfection. His image speaks out with praise. So Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib kissed his hand in a polite, respectful, and modest manner. His blessing and secret, the blessing of As-Samman and secrets, poured on al-Tayyib instantly, and that was before he's taken to the Sufi path. Soon after, Ahmad al-Tayyib extended his hand to Samman's and initiating him into the Sammaniya. Following his initiation into the Sammaniya, As-Samman commanded Ahmad al-Tayyib to serve and accompany him, so he does not miss one of his assemblies or even a single lesson from the lessons that he used to present it to his students and the people in his own Zawiya. And also, as we have presented in his biography, that As-Samman students, by the way, were from all corners of the Islamic world. So he used to teach them the Islamic sciences from a side, and at the same time guiding them into the Sufi path from another side. So he used to teach tafsir, hadith, prophetic tradition, tasawwuf, mysticism, and so on. For more information, once again, I would like to referring you to Sheikh عبد المحمود نور الدائم الكؤوس المترعة في مناقب السادة الأربعة. So as we have also been told in his story life, my master Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib has spent 7 years with his Sheikh As-Samman. During these periods or these years, he received both the science of Sharia and the science of Haqiqa. It is noticeable here that concentrating on Hadith science is an important characteristic of Sufi orders in the 18th and early of 19th centuries. This mainly because such orders emphasize the doctrine of the perfect man as the realization of the Prophet's person. For this reason, the Prophet's tradition and Hadith science gained their importance. Consequently, as a result of this importance of Hadith science for the 18th and 19th centuries orders, Sudanese Sufi orders in that period came to be affiliated with Sufi ulama figures. More information in this area is there in Samaniya Doctrine and Politics by the researcher Dr. Amani Muhammad al-Abid. So Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib stayed for 7 years, and these 7 years has been described by Sheikh Abdul Mahamoud as if it were of its pleasure is blink of an eye, in good faith, sincerity, and pure of insight, and from following the Sharia and asceticism in this world, and the turning out for the presence of the Lord. Moreover, of the observation of the etiquette, performing awrats and remembrances, and notching out the truth Almighty and His witnessing at times of the night and day, and other things referred to by his teacher Saman. So the time went on, and then Saman came to war and granted Ahmad the Qadiriya mantle Khirga and revealed to him the secrets, the sciences, and lights that the Tariqa held. After he behaved and had been make the greatest progress in the Qadiriya, then he had been taken to the Naqshbandiyya, then to Khalwatiyya, then to Anfas Tariqat, and finally Asma'iyya Tariqa. And in this concern, I would like to say that my master Muhammad al-Saman has authorized my master Sheikh Ahmad al-Bashir he authorized him and given him the ijaza of 5 turuq, that is the Qadiriya, the Naqshbandiyya, the Khalwatiyya, Tariqat al-Anfas, and Tariqat al-Muwafaqa. And in this concern also, I would like to point out to the idea that while Ahmad al-Tayyib residence with his own sheikh, he used to accompany him annually in the performance of Hajj. The return to Sudan. After he was authorized on 5 turuq and granted the ijaza, as well as of giving him the good tidings that at the age of 70 will read the Qutbiyya, Ahmad al-Tayyib was ordered by his master Saman to return to Sudan so as to initiate followers and to make manifest the signs of the religion. After his faculties were perfected and integrated in guidance, Ahmad al-Tayyib had been sent to Sudan to carry out or to carry the banner of preaching. Following his descent with his friend and sincere brother Ahmad ibn al-Majzub al-Shazali, Ahmad al-Tayyib returned from Medina to Mecca, then to Jeddah, and finally to Sawakin. It appears that Ahmad al-Tayyib's extended stay in the Hijaz has caused his family and relatives to be very eager to meet him. He returned straight to his hometown of Marah to assume responsibility for the mosque, which was constructed by his grandfather Muhammad wal Surur. He led the prayers, performed words and remembrances, and organized religious events. As a result, his star began to shine in the fields of Sharia and Tariqa. And it has been stated that he did not start the call for the Sammani Tariq after returning from Medina al-Munawwara because he did not initiate many followers. So he did not initiate many followers at the beginning of his arrival from al-Medina al-Munawwara. And instead, he focused all of his energies on teaching the sciences of hadith and mysticism. So this is indicate that Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, following his return from al-Medina al-Munawwara, he did not start initiating murids into the Sammaniya directly. Rather, he went to give more concern and more care for the teaching of the Islamic sciences, mainly the hadith and mysticism. Later on, he came to provide guidance and instruction and suluk to those who wish to belong to the tariqah, which, as we have stated, is started or stand as one of the pillars of the wave of what is known as new Sufi movement that had been entered Sudan during the end of French Sultanate. Such a good starting that had been initiated by Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib allowed him to establish the foundation of the Sammani doctrine in Sudan. For more information, I referring you to Qamar al-Dawla Zain al-Abdin Muhammad in his study Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir, his theological views on Gnostic aphorism and published thesis on Durman Islamic University, 2003, page 63. However, due to his pioneering and innovative role in the Sammani order, which in its very essence is Gadri, the Tariq has become known in Sudan as the Tayyibiyya Sammaniya Sufi order. Ahmad al-Tayyib's journeys. Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib's travels both inside and beyond the country began both before and after he was initiated into the Sammaniya. He had made his first internal journey from his birthplace, Marrah, to Island and then to Talha. And the nature of this traveling, it was knowledge seeking. And here I would like to say he is a seeker of knowledge. Because of this, he made his internal first journey from birthplace of his at Marrah to Island and then to Talha in central Sudan. His second internal visit, however, was to Sinnar after returning from the Hijaz as the invitation of the Sinnar ruler in order to cure one of his relatives, while his first outside journey involved being introduced into the Sufi path while performing the Hajj in Hijaz. On his second journey abroad, he went to Egypt and initiated the many students. Among them is Sheikh al-Wizzi. And by the way, Sheikh al-Wizzi is one of influential Sammanis in Egypt during that time. So Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir journey to Holy Land, Hijaz, either via Egypt or directly, as on his first visit, helped shape and reinforce his spiritual side and help him gain both public and private acceptance. They also helped him establish an environment that made it easier for him to share his knowledge, share his Sufi message and ideas, and attract supporters. Furthermore, he was able to spread his worldwide fame, expanded his understanding of Islam, and finished developing his religious identity through these travels. His profound writings on Sufi thought, which he revealed a new current in the universality of Sudanese Sufi thought and its expansion to the international arena, formed a behavioral framework that can be used and employed to serve the causes of Islamic unity. It also led him to higher scientific knowledge. This Sudanese Sammani movement activity continued through his successor. Here, the initiative of traveling outside the country that has been taken by Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib came to continue after his passing away by his predecessors and successors after him, with this communication and openness as the case of Sheikh Gharibullah. Sheikh Gharibullah, by the way, has his frequent visitation outside the country. And in this regard, I would like to point out to his taken the guidance or taken the ijaza from al-Dirdir or from Abu Bakr al-Haddad, which indicate that the communication and the contact that already has been initiated by Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib came to continue after his passing away by his successors, by his grandsons, and among them, as I have stated, is the Sheikh Gharibullah Abu Saleh, the grandson of Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir. So in this concern, I would like to referring you to Abdurrahman Abu Khreis, Universality of the Sammaniya, published research paper in the Journal of Islam and Contemporary World Studies, January 2012, page 124. Back into Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib journey to Egypt, I would like to state this point, which already have been documented by Sheikh Abdul Mahmoud in his two important authoring book, that is Azahir al-Riyad في مناقب العارف بالله Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir, in addition to الكؤوس المترعة في مناقب السادة الأربعة by the same Sheikh, here Sheikh Abdul Mahmoud Sheikh Nur al-Daim. So here I would like to quote from Sheikh Abdul Mahmoud and said, while in Egypt, in addition to his visitation to Suhaj and some other Egyptian places and towns, Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib made his visit to al-Azhar al-Sharif, where the scholars were there. So he came to exchange his Sheikh ideas with those scholars, and at the same time disseminating his knowledge about Islamic teachings and mainly Sufi thought. It is a remarkable journey to Al-Azhar, and as it has been stated in Sammani's literature, the debate and discussion has been taken place between Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib and the Azhar scholars in regarding and concerning many Islamic issues. The Sammani poet Makawi Muhammad Balla was not far from recording Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir visit to Egypt and the openings and the miracles that had accompanied his visitation to that country. So just I would like to quote part of his poem, the famous ode Ya Layla Layla Jannah, when he said, جاء من طيبة ومنارة في غميم دخل بإشارة ذكر القلل بعبارة 10,000 سكارة والعلماء اندهشوا حيارة اتوجه مصر المعلومة جاءت الثقات بعلومة 40 عزومة اتجزوا وفى لزومة في مصر سوى بيانه وتوجه لسودان. Through his travels, Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir established deep and solid relations between Sudan and the Islamic world, as well as what is now known as the Hijaz and Egyptian influence on Islam in Sudan. It focused his visit or journeys outside the country focused on the idea of cultural and civilizational exchange within the context of Islam between Egypt and Sudan, as well as between the Arabian Peninsula and the Nile Valley, Sudan. The Sammani order continued to reaffirm the importance of communication through its youth, who were followers of Ahmad al-Tayyib and who in turn played significant role in the intellectual, religious, and educational life of the Sudanese. For more information, here I would like to referring you to Tariq Muhammad Osman in his study on the Sammaniya Sufi order in Sudan. Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, Sufi doctrine. Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, Sufi doctrine, and its very essence is abiding with the teaching of the Holy Quran, the prophetic Sunnah and Sharia, and his doctrine is based on learning the science. And here I would like to point out and referring you to his notable authoring, الحكم الطيبية, known as النفس الرحماني في الطور الإنساني وشرحه الجوهر الفريد في علم الوحدة والتوحيد. By the way, in this book, and out of my translation or to the very same book, you find him in the 60 aphorisms which make up the book whole content. Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, in a separate aphorism, dedicated his speech to the abiding with Sharia. And in this concern, I would like to say that he is very concerned with the application of Sharia, not only in the status of our daily life, but connecting the Sharia to the tariqa taken to Haqiqa. So Sheikh Ahmad Tayyib was very concerned with the application of Sharia, and even his predecessor, I mean here, the successors and the murids of the tariqa, more specifically, the shuyukh of the tariqa, the poets, the writers of the tariqa, have went on to re-emphasize what already have been stated by the two founders, that As-Samman and Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib, mainly on the area of abiding with Sharia. So the essence of his doctrine is based on abiding with the Sharia. So Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib was known to be forgiving even of his enemies, and this is part of his Sufi doctrine. By the way, he is very tolerated to his enemies, and it didn't concern him that he was calling on his rivals. He also avoided praising the obedient in obedience, so as not to arouse jealousy, and did not degrade, slander the disobedient until he fled. He was working for his family, and if he constructed a house for one of his wives, he began working with the builders without objecting. He also used to say, "Who did not have work with his hand did not have luck in manhood." The speech and the coverage on the story life of Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayyib al-Bashir and his teachings and students will continue on our coming episodes.
آه